Welcome to Uncover the Human, where every conversation revolves around enhancing all the connections in our lives.
Whether that's with our families, co-workers, or even ourselves.
When we can be our authentic selves, magic happens.
This is Christina Amigoni.
And this is Alex Colomore.
Let's dive in.
Welcome back to another episode of Uncover the Human. Today, Christina and I are joined by the marketing and branding guru that we have leaned on many times and that many people lean on, Lyn Wineman. Welcome back, Lyn.
Woo! I'm so glad to be here. Yay!
Yay, Lyn. Second time back, even though we talk all the time. So
I know.
Trying to figure out how many times you've been back.
I think this is only my second official time on the podcast, but I do feel like I talk to the two of you all the time. I come to you for advice, for counsel, for good gnocchi, for wine suggestions. You are my gurus for many different things.
And we lean on Lyn, whether she knows it or not, for all of our strategy as far as public-facing marketing.
Exactly.
That is what especially I like to hear. Honestly, you two probably realize this about me, but I love what I do so much that I really don't have any hobbies. Like, I love my work. I do my work. I look forward to Saturday mornings because that's when I have quiet time to do my work, which I know you will probably tell me sounds unhealthy, but I really enjoy it.
I've been there.
And then Saturday afternoons for my grandsons. So that's kind of where my life is right now. But the work of marketing is just a passion of mine because I just see how it helps people, it helps small businesses, it helps nonprofits, and that makes me very, very happy.
And you're very good at it.
Yes.
Well,
so
thank you.
There's something to that.
Thank
Passion
you. Well,
and good. Being good.
It's a good thing because otherwise I'd have a very sad life trying to do marketing for people and being very bad at it. So I think I'm lucky. I think my mind, and actually, you know what? I know exactly why my mind is wired for marketing, because you all taught me the working genius. And for all of your listeners that are Working Genius fans, I am an IG, which means I love coming up with ideas and I love getting people excited about the ideas, which essentially is marketing, right? Like,
yes.
So it's a good fit for me.
That makes a lot of sense. Yeah, that would be a perfect marketer. That's creating things and wanting to get people on board with it.
Yes.
And it makes sense why Saturdays would be something you do work on. That's where you get your energy.
That's where I get my energy. And you know what else? Once again, for Working Genius fans, the I and the G are both disruptive energies, right? And so I am a double disruptor, which is why sometimes
that fits very well.
Right? Well, sometimes when I'm on podcasts with people, I'll do something really weird, like putting on a unicorn headband.
There you go.
This is not a Zoom filter for those on video. That is a real unicorn hat.
It is a real. I'm going to back up. You can see it.
It doesn't disappear. It's actually on the head.
It's on the head. And you know what? What's crazy about this is always in my top drawer of my desk. It's always accessible. And I reach for it quite often because if I'm in a meeting where the energy is low or where it's getting a little boring or where there's a really good idea that I want to celebrate, I have it out today because I was just celebrating with a team. And sometimes when you're remote, it's hard to celebrate. So I put on the unicorn headband and go, yay! And I don't know, it gives me a little dopamine rush. So there you go.
So for those on audio only, you have to look at our YouTube because the ears are the most fascinating part of that headband.
They're gold. The ears are gold.
They're gold
the
ears.
horn is gold.
Exactly.
There's kind of some pink feathery stuff.
Yes.
It's a full white headband. Yes, I'm just describing it for everyone. It does keep going out of the frame. If I'm going to continue to wear it, I have to back up. So I think for that reason, I will take it off for the time being.
Yes.
It distracts me to see myself with the unicorn horn on.
We did talk about doing sort of a Jeopardy, as in you show a prop and we provide a Jeopardy question answer to what the prop means. So
all right.
Alex,
I already blew it. I already blew it on the first one, but if you want to do it, I'm now putting on the unicorn headband for the third time What would your Jeopardy question be for the unicorn headband?
What is a physical galvanizer?
I love it. I love it. All right. Christina, are you going to play too? Or are you coming up with
I'm
going to
play too. I should have
Okay.
gotten a buzzer.
Oh.
I would say, what is a celebration?
Yeah, that's exactly.
You talked about how you put it on when you want to celebrate?
Yep, I put it on when I want to celebrate. I put it on when I want to make a point. I put it on when I just want a little extra attention, which is frequently. I'm also an attention hound, so how about that? We'll just reveal
Second
all of
possible
my
answer.
secrets.
Second possible answer is like, what is a double disruptor?
What is a double disruptor? Definitely a gold metallic unicorn horn with bright pink feathers.
Fingers. Yes,
Yeah,
pink
yeah,
feathers.
Yeah. All right. Well, since we're playing the game, do you want to see my second prop?
Yes.
Okay.
Let's continue the game.
All right. Are you ready?
We may have to call Ken Jennings.
It's another headset.
Yeah,
it's another headset.
I am into fancy headwear.
Yes.
This one is the bees.
Yes.
Little bee. Are they antennas, do you think?
Yeah,
Yes.
I think they're antennas.
And there's a little gold crown. And
So
I
queen
love
bee.
this one most. Yes, you got it. It is.
What
I
is
love
queen
this one
bee?
the most because when I shake my head, the antennas shake, right? And then I'm also totally mesmerized. Like that always gets people if they're down in the dumps. I can put on the queen bee. But my team gave me this one because KidGlov is a certified B Corp. And we got our initial certification in 2021, which means in 2024 we had to recertify. And my wonderful team, knowing my love of headwear, they did get me this headband. And actually, while I'm at it,
There's another one.
there
It's coming. It's coming. Bee sunglasses.
Now,
Which
am I the
also
only
have
person
antenna.
that's come in costume
Yes.
to the Uncover the Human? Actually, it's the Uncover the Human podcast, and I'm covering myself up. What does that say about me?
You're a disruptor. This is double
Yes,
disruptor.
all right.
Yes. Yes.
I love that
I'm
there's
taking
antenna
it off.
on the
You got it,
glasses
though.
too.
This is my queen bee headband. So, all right. My third prop is this. It's a little
Okay.
more self-promotional. Dun, 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 dun.
Oh, Tangly Spaghetti book.
Untangling Spaghetti book. Last year I wrote a book called Untangling Spaghetti because when I think about marketing and branding, I think it's all about finding the best parts of who you are, whether it's personal branding or organizational branding. It's finding the best parts of who you are and figuring out how to communicate that in a way that is clear and differentiated and resonates with your target audience. So there you go. That is sadly the end of my props, and we're only a few minutes into this podcast.
We may have to do mental props now.
Okay, all right. Before you
good
know it,
trend.
I'll just be scrounging around my office finding props.
Now I want to find props. I'm like, oh,
Okay,
props.
everyone find a prop. Everyone find a prop. I love it.
Well, I like how you said that about branding, that your branding is about finding the best parts of yourself or your business and making them public and to the target audience. Yeah, it works for the target audience, something that resonates with them. And that's definitely something you helped us with, you helped lots of companies with. And as we understand it, you've also recently undertaken branding for your own company. Again, you guys are in a rebrand.
Yes, we're so excited about this. So we've got in our book, we've got this really great branding process. It's what we're most known for. It's called brand advancement. And it's a very logical and strategic process that helps companies really untangle the spaghetti, essentially, right? And so KidGlov will turn 16 in May. We'll be able to drive as a company, right? So we'll
Congratulations.
turn 16 in May. And we have gone through this process roughly every 5 years for ourselves, right? And so we last fall, in celebration of the book, said we should go through the process again. It's been a while. The last time we did it was in 2019. So it was pre-pandemic, which almost pre-pandemic seems like forever ago, right?
It was a different world.
A different world. And so what we found is that in the last 5 years, or I guess it was almost 6 years, we had actually changed quite a bit, right? We're still a marketing and branding company. We're still focused primarily on purpose-driven clients, But with the launch of the book and some of the things we've done nationally, we're really seen more as experts versus we've grown into more of a nationally known expert company versus a regional marketing and branding agency, right? And so our brand archetypes shifted, what our clients and partners felt and thought about us shifted. And so that's a perfect time to take your brand and really just give it so our name will still be KidGlov, spoiler alert, right?
Good.
Our logo will be similar, but slightly different. So evolution. Our color palette, our messaging, our tagline will all be very, very different. So it's been really fun because I'm starting to get some of the new branded items are showing up in our office. We're talking about our windows, our website is being updated. And so, yeah, on April 21st, we're going to have a big event, a big virtual event. Who knows? I might even don the unicorn headband.
Yes.
Or maybe I'll get a new one.
You need a new one. You need a new
Specifically
headband.
for the occasion. But yeah, we're going to have a virtual launch event. We're going to reveal the new brand. We're going to talk about the process we went through. So it'll kind of be a live case study because sometimes when people think about up-leveling their brand, they think, oh, I've got to come up with a new name or I've got to come up with a new logo. That's not true. Sometimes you just need to up level parts of your brand because you've outgrown it and you can modernize and shift without changing absolutely everything. So we are excited to use our own process and have some fun doing this. And, honestly, one of my favorite things to do when we work with clients on branding, I love to help clients launch their new brands. So the thought of launching our own new brand is really, really exciting.
That's very exciting. And
Yeah,
I'm
That's
curious
very
how it is
exciting.
you spend time doing a lot of brand advancement with other companies. What's it like being on the like basically both sides of the table for that one, where you're both guiding yourself and the receiving side of it?
Oh, well, I just came out of a meeting with my team, and what my team would tell you if you were a fly on the wall is that I perhaps am the most challenging client we serve. I am perhaps because I know what we're capable of and I know the potential and just my double disruptive personality. I want it all, right? But it's also you guys deal in change a lot, right? And you help your clients through change and there are very few people. I maybe am one of the few that embrace change, right? And so when you go through our process, we start with visioning. So that was our team getting together and really talking through what we wanted to be known for and how far we'd come and where we were going. And then we do what we call the perception analysis. That's where we do a survey with the people who know you best to find out, what do they think of you? How do they define your personality? What are the words and phrases that they use to describe you? And then we do our peer analysis. So we take a look at who are our competitors. And that's probably one thing that changed the most because at one time we knew exactly who our competitors were because they were located 5, 10, 50 miles away from us. But now we have competitors across the country. So that was a different look. When you do all of that and you develop your brand archetype profile, which sets your brand personality, and you see, oh, it's time for a change. That is a little bit of a scary thing because you're like, whoa, what are people going to think of this change? How are we going to find time to do it? How are we going to tell people? What's it going to cost? All the things a business owner thinks about. But I am so excited for how it's going to present us differently and connect us, I believe, with new and different clients so that we can help them with their brands as well.
Yeah, that's really fascinating. I love your process, and we've gone through some of it as well. You've helped us throughout for our brand. So you talked about how your competitors have changed because your scale and who you help and where you help has changed. What other changes have you noticed in your archetype and anything like that? Has
Yeah.
anything else changed that's more at the core of the business?
Yeah, 100%. So one of the biggest shifts is our brand archetype shift. So anybody who has worked with brand archetypes, we use a framework that was informed by the work of Carl Jung. And there are 12 brand archetypes, from the hero to the outlaw to the jester to the innocent and so forth. So KidGlov, our brand archetypes previously have always been magician, which the magician is about transformation. And that makes a lot of sense because we'll take somebody from where they are and help them to the next place. We've been lover, which is about having passion for the work and passion for the people we serve. And then we also have been creator, which creator attaches us to the space that we're in, and we're in a creative space. So it makes sense that we're creator brand archetype. We like a 3 archetype profile because a lot of times we find that one of your archetypes will align you with your space. One will speak to how you're different, and one will speak to how you take care of your clients. So our new brand archetypes, do you want to hear a secret? So they've
Yes, obviously.
switched. We're still
This is a live
creators.
recording, right?
I know, right?
It is.
Don't
It'll
tell,
be
don't tell
secret
anyone.
as long as
Don't tell
nobody
anyone.
listens to the podcast.
All of your thousands and thousands and thousands of listeners, shh, don't tell anyone. Yeah, what does that sound like to shush into the microphone? That probably was abrupt, wasn't it? And so our new brand archetypes, we're still creator because we're still in this creative space. We're still magician because we take people from one place to the other. But our lover brand archetype has switched to sage, which that is really what surprised me very much, because I still think, and part of what KidGlov is all about is taking great care of people and brands. But the sage aspect is really speaking to the expertise that we deliver. So in the last 5 years, we've launched the book and really have become seen as experts in this branding process. And off of the book, we launched our Brand Impact Accelerator, which is a self-paced online community for people to learn our brand process if they don't want to do a one-on-one agency engagement. We've become known as experts in the nonprofit space, in the healthcare space, and in the financial space, which has really helped us tap into some different client spaces as well. So the sage part makes sense, but I have to admit, I see myself as a lover personality. Like the passion aspect of a lover personality really fits with my personal identity. And so for me, I had to say, all right, this is how people see us. And honestly, it's how we want to be seen. So we are going to evolve in that direction. So what you'll see, also secret between the 2 of us, 3 of us, and all of your listeners, what you'll see is it's like the KidGlov brand has grown up. You will see less whimsy, less focus on the buttons. For those who know our brand, the buttons have been a big part of our brand. A deeper, richer color palette, and I think of more modern shapes and visual identity. And of course, a new tagline that is really amazing, and I'm not going to give that up here.
Oh, okay. So that's April 24th.
I'm going to keep that secret till April 21st. April 21st. Yeah.
Yes. Awesome. That's very exciting. Yes. Maybe I was just thinking when you were saying, it's hard to let go of the lover because it's still a big part of who you are.
Yeah.
And I'm sure a big part of how KidGlov shows up. It's not like you just cut it off and be like, nope,
right,
that's no longer there. It's not,
right.
It's not an old sweater you just give away and that's it.
That is true.
But I wonder if it's more like I was thinking like Enneagram type, where it's like, you're sage with like a lover wing.
Yeah. Well, sage and lover wing. I love that. That is what I want to be. I want to be a sage in lover wing.
And that's why your new headband can be a sage leaf with a heart on it.
I know. I almost put it back on for the 5th time, and I'm resisting. Like I'm literally holding on to the arms of my chair so I don't do it. Oh, you guys. Yep. Nope. The lover part, here's what I think is interesting about the lover brand archetype. it is a core part of who we are because our name, I mean, it's in our name. And when you talk to our clients, one of the things they really appreciate is that we do take great care of our clients. We're very accountable. We do what we say we will. Sometimes I feel like we're more even invested in the outcome and the results in some cases than our clients, which is a weird position to be in. But something we have found is that when people go out to hire an advertising agency, there's very few Google searches for advertising agencies that are highly accountable and nice to work with. There are a lot of, there should be more, but there are a lot of Google searches for advertising agencies that are experts.
Okay.
Yeah.
That makes sense. And they're not mutually exclusive. You can be an expert and also accountable and nice to work with.
One thing that occurs to me about the idea of like the Lover brand that has moved into Sage is that you felt like that was kind of personally identifying very much the Lover brand, and that as a business it's now moving towards Sage. And that kind of makes sense given what you were talking about in your journey. It's moved from, this is something that happens, I think, with small businesses as they grow. It's so much a part of the founder's personality, and then it becomes its own thing. And so it feels like maybe there's evolution from you, Lyn, will still continue to act as the Lover archetype within the brand, and the brand itself is now taken on its own life and is moving into Sage space.
And you know what? As a founder, that is what you want, right? Like you want your business to be more than you, right? And so even the first time we went through our own process was when we became KidGlov, because originally this business that's going to be 16 years old on May 14th, we started as Wineman Communications Group, which is a very boring, non-disruptive name. It described exactly what we do. It made me very easily findable, but it didn't take too long before I realized this business is about way more than me, right? And so sometimes I even get that question. People will ask me, why do you have an advertising agency named KidGlov? And what I will tell you is, when the name of my business was Wineman Communications Group, not a single person asked me about the business. They didn't ask me what was special. They didn't, because they thought they knew, right? But then when we became KidGlov, every time somebody asks me that question, it is an invitation for me to tell the story that we take great care of brands and we take great care of people, which shouldn't be a unique selling point for a whole industry.
Unfortunately.
But taking care of great people, well, yeah, you guys see it across the board, right? But taking care of people is an interesting aspect, and it doesn't just benefit the people that work here. I mean, all of our clients benefit from the fact that, we have very long-term staff longevity. I mean, the last time I had a person leave voluntarily, my staff was 2 years ago, right? Unheard of in the advertising space. And my team works together very well. And one of the reasons they do is because you have helped us and we have leaned so deeply into the working genius. As a matter of fact, the meeting I told you about that we were celebrating, I mean, one of the things we were joking about was widget powers activate, kind of like, do you remember the Power Rangers, right?
Yes.
And we did the virtual fist pump because we realized, hey, we have a full widget on this team and we know that is going to make the work more fun, more fulfilling, and easier. But we did have to call out on the team. We only had one discernment and one galvanizing genius. And so it's like, all right, discernment, you're going to have to talk twice as loud. Galvanizing, don't worry about me. I will always talk twice as loud. No worry there, right? But I mean, on the team too, though, we had two wonders, 3 innovators, and 2 enablers. Oh, only 1 tenacity too. Yeah, she's going to have to keep us all in mind.
Person's going to be busy.
Feel for Nicole.
Yeah. She's going to have to. We're going to have to send her flowers, I think. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
So
Yeah, that's wonderful.
So In an interesting update to Working Genius, Lyn, we just got an email at the end of the year last year from Working Genius itself. They've done this now with like 1.5 million people have taken this assessment across the globe. And what they found is that actually the two least common geniuses are I and G. So
Really?
you are living in rarefied space.
So
you can put your unicorn hat back on.
Yeah. Hey, all right. I'm just going to leave it on for a while. I always think about people who have geniuses that to me seem so far apart, right? Like I have a couple of people that I know and love and work with who are wonder and tenacity geniuses. And I'm like, wow, you must be like arguing in your head all the time, right? About like, oh, should I ask more questions? Do I have all the information? How do I get this all done? It's like, I just can't even imagine what life would be like in that space, right? Yeah.
You can ask
Nicole on our team has those geniuses, and
Nicole.
yes, I think she has. And I hope that some of the arguments come out of her head and with us. That she has the psychological safety. And it seems like she does. She seems to have that psychological safety where she wants to get it done, but then she still has questions, and so she's kind of like, "Can I ask the questions?"
Yeah.
But we find it very helpful to have somebody like that on the team, because especially when we get into that mode of, okay, we just got to do, even though tenacity is both Alex and I frustration. So we rarely get to the like, we just got to do.
That could work with the two of you. Yes.
But even, even for my own geniuses, when I get into my discernment and my enablement pieces, she's the one that will pull me out when it's like, hey, the wonder that the big why hasn't been established yet, or what you're discerning has nothing to do with what we're talking about.
We've even started having meetings where we will uninvite people who have the frustration, right? Like I got recently uninvited from a wonder meeting because I am a wonder frustration, and someone very nicely said to me, just putting the words "what if" in front of an idea does not make this a wonder.
It's very true.
I'm like, what if we did this and this and this? Or what if we did this and this and this? What if we did? And they're like, stop.
It's not wonder.
We're muting you and sending you away from this Teams meeting. Yes. But what's great about that too, what's great about the system is that I also then don't have to take offense at that, right? Like I understand it. I get it. I know that's my frustration. I know what they need to do in that time is not probably the best thing for me to add to. And on the flip side, our COO, Catherine Warren, who you've also had on the show, who is absolutely amazing, she's an I frustration, right? So she and I will sometimes pass each other coming and going. It's like, okay, the wondering's going to happen, the ideating's going to happen, and then Catherine's going to come in, and she is so good at going that, and that, the rest. And she's very nice. She's like, the rest we'll just put on a list for later. And one of my fellow idea people actually a couple weeks ago said, where actually is that list? Like, you've been fooling us for a long time. Where is the list?
I like that. We should have a list for later for Alex too.
Yes. Alex, you understand. You and I can commiserate. Maybe your list and my list are next to each other somewhere in the great abyss.
I really appreciated when you were like, I like change, because that's definitely, I think, to my entire team's frustration, something I enjoy. Like I can't do the same thing when it's not changing. That gets frustrating.
Right? Yes. Alex, same thing. Like if you told me, Lyn, you cannot change, I honestly, even just saying those words out loud, like I feel tension bubbling up in my chest. Like, what do you mean I can't change? Like, change is the only way we are going to make it through all of this. Yes.
Yeah.
Agreed. Yes. Yeah. The good thing that, in the dynamics of a team, and you mentioned this even for your team, is like there's the personal attack gets taken away.
Yes.
Now that you have the language and you understand, how it all works. And we see it even, within our own team, especially with Nicole, because she is the one that pulls us to like, hey, are we actually going to the same direction?
Yeah.
We talking about the
right?
same thing here. Do we actually ask, do we answer the big why? And then she does the tenacity work of making sure that we have something that
answers the why.
that's produced. And so when we are putting together presentations, webinars, she puts together, we walk through the whole process. She puts together the slides, and then Alex and I, as the presenter, the facilitators, get together for prep, and we change almost every single slide that she just spent 2 weeks putting together. And so we, let her know, and we apologize. She's like, oh no, I'm good. It's like, you're doing you. I did my part. I'm out. It is not a personal attack that you go in and change slides.
I asked the questions. I got you to get it done, whether you use my slides or not. Yeah. I think that's maybe why I'm our most difficult client at KidGlov, because I like change. I like to come up with new ideas. And I really love the sport of convincing people that the ideas are good and that we must do them and that we can do them, which makes me somewhat difficult to say no to.
That is
I like you called it a sport.
Yeah.
It's ING.
I see it as a sport, right? Like I was telling someone the other day, they were like, because I'm going to go do a presentation for a client. And they were explaining to me like, this is going to be really difficult because everyone in the room is not going to want to do this thing that you are going to be presenting. I'm like, yes, bring it on. I cannot wait. Give me an angry mob. Let me turn them.
I just came up with an idea.
Oh, yes.
Which, if this actually happens, we expect royalties from the table group.
I love it.
Not from you, from the table group and the Working Genius. What? Because you talked about how it's a sport, and I'm like, we should have Working Genius Olympics.
I love that. Yes, let's do it. But it would have all the weird things. There would be like no athletics.
Yeah, no.
It would be like the best list, right?
Yes,
and the most helpful emojis in the emails, and the most rapid fire ideas that can be put into a Milanote board as fast as possible. Right?
You and Alex would win.
Yeah. And the most angry people flipped, right? And then the wonderers, I don't know what you would do. The most questions asked.
Yes.
Yeah. I know. Alex, you're a wanderer. You'll have to identify. I can't identify.
I can't differentiate between wanderer and invention half the time.
You got the continuous
what if we did this whole thing entirely differently?
Yeah.
What if the big picture was different?
Yeah. Oh, I love it.
This is the big problem.
A really good idea. Right?
Widget Olympics.
The discerners would just be like, they'd just be
nope,
like,
nope, yes.
Yes. That's 100% what would be happening.
Yes. Catherine and I can walk in the room blindfolded and just point and be like, it's that one. Go.
And the galvanizers would be, but wait, I haven't told you all the stories yet. Wait, there's more. Let me try this again.
Yes. One of the things you've shared with us is how you even use the framework with clients when working with clients.
We do.
How is that going?
It's going pretty well. Like when we bring on a new client, in some cases, we will do a Working Genius assessment, and we will map their team and we will map our team. It's really helpful for us to all be able to understand and articulate how we're going to work together. I find that it's particularly helpful because more and more of us are working remotely now. And so, we'll work with clients for 6 months, maybe even a year before we meet them in person. And so sometimes you don't have that opportunity, to read the body language or to see what they were like when they walked into the room, or even to have the small talk, that you have before and after an in-person meeting. So we find it to be very helpful there. We also find it to be really helpful to know how to present ideas, right? So if we know that our client is in the wonder space or the idea space, we're going to bring them in very early to a process, right? So we might even, I was showing you before we hit record, I was showing you a sketch that I did, right? We might even bring them in at like a marker sketch stage and say, hey, these are the ideas we're thinking about, because we know they're going to want to ask the questions or maybe add to the idea being part of the process. Whereas if we've got a client who's more maybe in the discernment or even the tenacity space, they're not going to want to see something so loose. That is going to create major anxiety for them. And so we know for those clients, we need to like button it up, have the details put together, and, be further along in the process when we share. So it's really helpful to know where your key decision makers are and what feels like sport to them and what feels very heavy, right? Like
Yes.
I've been thinking, did you two watch the Winter Olympics?
Yes.
I have been thinking so much about Alyssa Liu's story, right? And like, what would it be like if we all pulled an Alyssa Liu and we said, hey, we're going to change our work so that we're finding joy in what we do? I have thought so much about that. And what are the things that we can do to bring joy versus the things that we do that stress us out and make it feel like drudgery, right? And I think working genius is part of the answer to that, but I think there's more layers that I bet the two of you could really help people with. You need the Alyssa Liu package at Siamo, I think.
Yes.
I like that idea.
Well, and clearly you win gold, so it
Yeah,
works.
right? Well, what I love about her story is like, it was such a good example of how, I mean, she's definitely a prodigy, right? Like, she's so talented and so successful early on. But when her sport, her love became drudgery, she was no longer as good at it, right? Like, and then she stepped away and came back in a way. Now, not all of us can come back to work on completely our own terms, right? But I think that we could all think a lot more about how do we bring joy to the work. And I don't know about the two of you, but I think about myself, you know, coming up through college and being young in business and all the things that I was taught about being like tough and laying down the line and telling people what they needed to hear. Like, that is the opposite of joy. So I really like am spending time every day thinking about how can I reframe this conversation I'm going to have that could potentially be a difficult conversation, and how can we flip it, right? Like, and you can't always flip it. Sometimes things are just tough and you have to talk about it. But how can you take the edge off of it?
True.
I like that idea. I think that working genius, it gives people a good handle into this world because it's like easy, non-defensive language that you can pretty quickly grasp onto. But I think for sure, there's a deeper level that you can think about of what feels like sport to you. And I love how you describe it as sport. And I think that's
Yes.
a good way of helping people connect to it. What does feel like sport, and you can start to see how your geniuses might interact and how you might further refine specifically for you what those geniuses look like. And I think
Yeah.
that there's so much. That's what I kept saying that over and over with Alyssa Liu is like, look, you don't have to like just highly pressurize these people. You don't have to just turn this into like a miserable say. Like she wins because had the skills and could finally let go enough to
Yeah.
enjoy it.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
One other thing that occurs to me, this is maybe a weird connection, but I think finding joy, even though we can use the working genius as a tool, I do think it's to a certain extent a very individual thing too. And one of the things I've heard the two of you say about your work is there's no cookie cutter, right? Even though you've got a working genius framework and the learning, it's not a cookie cutter process, right? And I'm going to link that back to marketing too. I think the best marketing focuses on the individuality of the audiences, right? And And somebody taught me this a long time ago, and it still is with me, that empathy is better than data in marketing every day of the week, right? And
I like
so I think for both your business and my business, really uncovering the human aspect of it all is really key. And so, when I'm working on a brand or a marketing plan or a TV commercial or a website, really understanding who it's for and what their pain points are, what they're going through, what they need, what does relief look like for them,
that.
and presenting them back to them is a really key aspect. Even, I've been thinking a lot lately about even how do we make sure audiences feel seen in this work,
Yes.
right? Like, how do we word this or present it visually so that someone can really relate to it? And I think it's easy now with AI and all the tools that we have and all the data that we have to forget that at the end of the day, there is a human receiving this message and a human that is either going to decide to take action or not take action.
Yeah. Well, and going back to change, that action is a change. Like
yeah.
marketing
Right.
and branding essentially is galvanizing people to make a change.
Right. 100% it is. Yeah.
And so it's crucial to actually appeal to the audiences. From a change space perspective, we've seen it, like we've implemented the same technology to 100 different clients and the same processes, it's the same technology, and every single application, every single change project is completely different because the humans are different. And the approach has to be different on how we talk about it, when we talk about it, when we show the technology, when it's a technology, when we apply the process. All of these things are very individual.
Yep. Yep. And you know what? I'd liken it to kind of going back. We do have our brand advancement process that we use, and we almost always go through the same steps, but we tailor them. And part of what the steps do is they help us understand the individuality of a certain situation too, right? Defining the brand archetype, understanding the perception of their best audiences, making sure we're really nailing down their vision for where they're going before we get too far in the weeds on the creative work. Yeah.
More sports.
More sports. Wow.
Yes.
That is crazy that I'm talking about sports because I'm quite frankly the least athletic person that either of you know.
I could give you a run for your money, but I'm not going to run.
You have run. You've
run a marathon.
Yeah, you've done marathons and triathlons.
Yeah, it was a long time.
A few years ago, I decided that I was going to run a 5K, not even a 10K, a 5K. And I trained for it. I talked to people and I made my playlist. And as much as I went on and on and on about the 5K, you would have thought I was doing an ultra marathon. My parents came, it was just at the YMCA. My parents came and watched. I had a friend that came and did it with me, and bless her heart, she was 10 years older than me. She did the 5K with me. She finished it and then ran back to finish it with me. But I did do it. I did.
You did the 5K?
Do it. And
There
then
you go.
right after that, I had to have my knee replaced. And my orthopedic surgeon said, please stop running. And I am heeding that advice. I'm 100. That may be the only thing I'm 100% compliant on, but 100% compliant on no running.
And you would think that he would want more business. So there you go.
No, he got it. He's done both of my knees. It's amazing. It's amazing.
He's like, you're out of knees, so please stop running.
We can't do this on a third
and he
one.
has said I should take care of these because you don't want to replace a knee more than once. So
That
no,
sounds painful even the first time.
no running. The new knees are wonderful. Whenever I go hiking or I'm doing something that for me is physically strenuous. I'm like, I need to send Dr. Seifert a thank you note. Yeah, I mean, we were in South Africa on safari. I got to hike the top of Table Mountain, which is amazing. And it's kind of like, it feels like you're walking on the moon. It's like very kind of weird, squishy, but rocky terrain all at the same time, but also flat, which is weird. But I was like, I'd never be able to do that without the new knees. So yes, there you go. That was not a paid endorsement.
And
For your doctor, not a paid endorsement.
Not a paid endorsement.
Yeah. Well, thank you, Lyn. We could talk about a million other things for sure, and I'm sure we will. And we can't wait for the April 21st.
Yeah,
the uncovering of the new of KidGlov in a non-weird way.
As KidGlov gets to adolescent glove, but without changing its name.
No. I can't wait, and your audience is all invited. I'll get you a link before we launch this episode. But it'll be a great fun case study of how a brand evolves, and we'll go through the steps of how to do it. And I bet we'll even have some fun giveaways. And the kicker will be, now you've challenged me, I must find a new headband. So we'll reveal the new headband at the brand launch. How about that?
I feel like just a crown of sage would do well.
Ooh, a crown of sage.
with hearts, though. We need the lover wing.
Oh, the crown of sage with hearts. All right. Wow, this is going to be hard.
I'm going to be on the lookout. If I see anything, I'll send it to you.
Okay.
Yeah. It's probably in some kind of Julius Caesar costume.
Yes. I need to find a costume designer, I think. Oh man. Yeah, this is how ideation and galvanizing gets out of hand fast. We are officially derailing at this moment. There are discerners all over my office going, oh no.
Yes.
Now
we're hunting for sage.
Yeah.
Anybody have a sage guy?
Yeah. Yes. Catherine, they're all calling for Catherine to come and help.
Yes.
Yeah. Catherine, I probably need an intervention.
Get those ideas. Put them on your list, Catherine. Put them on your list.
Yes, that's right. That's right. Put them on the idea list.
The idea list.
I love it. Thank you guys for having me on. I love the show. I'm a big fan. I appreciate you having me back. I always love to talk about your work, and I love to talk about my work too. I'm just weird that way.
Awesome.
Yes. Galvanizing all around.
There you go. Yes. There you go.
We do have one last question for you.
Oh, what?
What is your definition of authenticity? And we will go back and see what you said the first time.
Oh, I wish I could remember what I said the first time, but I think I have evolved in the last 2 years, and I believe authenticity is feeling at total peace, like being so much of yourself that you are just radiating like peace of mind. Yeah.
With gold unicorn ears as well, when possible.
And
yes, radiating queen bee energy. See, this is who I am, queen bee, unicorn.
Queen bee. There you go. And they actually fits really well together because now the antennas are behind the ears, so it looks like it's one head.
I'm very nervous that this is the image that's going to show up on social media.
I hope that's the image that's on social media.
Doing it, let me get the book.
We may actually get people to watch the YouTube video.
Oh, wow. Okay.
I know.
All right, you guys. Thank you so much. Always so much fun. I hope the next time we talk, there's wine and gnocchi involved.
I'm thinking pizza. Homemade pizza.
Pizza sounds great. All right. Bye, all.
Bye-bye.
See you, Lyn.